Hello, it's Rachelle, and it is August 23rd, 2022. And tomorrow I am heading, no pun intended, into my second brain surgery. I had the last one in June of 2020, and it gave me instant relief of this arachnoid cyst that is lodged between the lobes of my brain. It's attached to both lobes, so the doctor can't remove it completely. But the last time he did get more than he had thought he could when he had first looked at the scans. And so I'm hoping this time he can go in and remove just as much, if not more. And the hope is that with multiple surgeries, and hopefully there won't be any more, but if there is, the hope is that enough scar tissue builds and the arachnoid cyst will not be able to grow through the scar tissue. So they can't remove the whole thing because he would have to take out chunks of my brain to be able to do that, where all the little tentacles of the cyst is. But I'm lucky because they do test it to see if it's malignant or not, and mine is benign, and it was before, and I have no reason to think that it wouldn't be this time. So, and the thought is that this arachnoid cyst is actually a birth defect that didn't cause me major problems until I hit 50. It caused me some problems. I did not realize that at the time that the issues that I had, such as swimming and diving off the block and having intense pressure, just like vice grips on my head, or feeling like I was drowning when I did flip turns, or when I was running and for training for tennis and things like that. So, but all of that was because of the cyst. And so I didn't actually come on here to talk to you about that, but I know that a few people have asked and wondered what it is. And the best way that it was explained to me by my neurosurgeon is that the cyst is like a little balloon, and it is in between the lobes of both sides of my brain, and with tentacles in each lobe. And you usually have space there that the fluid in your brain can move around freely. Because the cyst is there, that fluid is actually caught in this balloon type thing. And so when I bend over, or when I exert any kind of pressure, even like coughing, sneezing, anything like that, or even just sitting now, the fluid makes the cyst get larger, like a balloon getting larger, and then that in turn presses against everything else in my head, my brain and skull, everything, and the pressure is just unbearable. There's not really too much fear that the cyst can erupt on its own. They don't usually do that, but again, there is always that chance. So they go in and they do what's called a craniotomy for fenestration, which means they go in to the brain area and kind of put all kinds of different holes, all like hundreds of holes into this little cyst. Mine happens to be the size of about an avocado pit. And then he will clean out all of the remnants of the cyst. I think of it as a balloon being popped, and then taking out all of the balloon material that they can, and then that's it. It's like instant relief. When I woke up in the ICU after the last surgery, I could tell that it was gone, and it was a miraculous feeling. Honestly, it felt good. It felt really good. I had other issues that stemmed from the anesthesia, but that part, my head part, was just an amazing result immediately. So that is what we're hoping for tomorrow, and hope to repeat the success of the surgery without the challenges that I had coming out of the anesthesia that actually put me into respiratory arrest and ended up with some longer term heart and lung issues. And so we're hoping that that doesn't happen. And if they can control my blood pressure a little bit, I have very low blood pressure, so my blood pressure even tanked more when I was coming out of the anesthesia, and that kind of caused a lot of problems that I think were unforeseen. So now that we know, we're hoping that that actually doesn't cause a problem tomorrow. We shall see. So anyways, what I wanted to do was share with you my new journal. I created this journal. It's a plant stained paper journal, and just like all my other ones that I did, I stitched it, but I used some different papers or added some other papers into this journal. And this is going to be my surgery recovery journal. I have about at least 8 weeks of some chill time after surgery to recover. I won't be driving for that long, and I won't really be teaching, although I think I'm going to try to sneak in and maybe do a little bit. And then I have plans for the clay studio. I have plans to work on some clay pieces, not a collection, anything like that, just kind of taking my time and enjoying myself. And then right now my pottery studio is actually, the main table is covered with bookmaking things, including my sewing machine. So that's what I want to show you here. This is my recovery journal, and I'm calling her Athena. And if you've taken any of my writing classes, you know that I feel like naming your journal is very important, and looking at your journal as this energetic entity that can respond to you and you can have a conversation with, and it's like your inner muse manifesting through these pages. But I have papers that I just have loved, and this is a heavier cotton paper, and daisies and eucalyptus and rose petals and hydrangeas. All of my favorites are on this cover. And there's actually, these are purple potato leaves. I don't know if you can see that. I'm not going to go through every page because every page obviously has a lot going on, but I'm going to just show you the beginning. I just started this journal yesterday at pre-op, and so I was sitting in the waiting room, and I was able to pencil her, and I've had some pictures out there to show that penciling. Maybe I'll pop that into this video as well. Here's some more eucalyptus and daisy and a rose petal right there, and some hydrangeas and another daisy right there. But I love to watercolor on my pages. The pages of this book where you see this brown parchment kind of color, this was actually paper that I hand dyed with flowers and herbs, and it's a secondary process to my plant staining. So it's a process that I have been evolving and developing for the last couple of years, and I finally got it to the point where I really love the way the papers are coming out, and I love including them in my plant stain journals now. So I'm hoping that when I'm better, I'm going to be filming that course, because it's just such a fun course to do. This is a drawing that I started to do last night, and I was using the imagery that I was seeing, and I actually was thinking that I would have a more cheerleader-esque type of a feel come out, and instead it came out with this kind of snarky looking woman who has a big mouth open, and I said, here we go. And so this is basically what I'm going to be working on a little bit later tonight. I do have to teach tonight, so a little bit after that, while I'm waiting for my videos to download, I might be playing in here. And the idea is, again, let's head into this with strength and conviction and all kinds of good wishes, and really just take control. And I think that's what this woman is. But look at these pages are, like I said, these were all dyed with herbs and other plant elements, and differently than I do my plant staining. So I'm looking for a dye when I create pages like this, and it does give me this texture and this imagery behind that I so love to create from. but it's not completely covering the page like the plant stains are. So I really have enjoyed adding these into my journals, writing on them and drawing on them and using that imagery. And there's several pages of those. You can see there's another, there's another mermaid right there coming off of this side. I wonder, she might have been the opposite of this page when I was creating it, because this imagery was there for her to come off the side. And this is a fancy mermaid. As you can see, she has these fancy sleeves that are kind of attached onto her arms as just kind of a, I don't know, you might wear those to a gala. So maybe there was an ocean gala. But here's another one, and I see this mermaid coming off of this side, and maybe her tail coming up. So we'll see how that develops out. I'm gonna have some fun with it. Look at all these gorgeous pages that I have to create on, both in the hospital. I'll take this and work on this if I feel well enough. Of course, I'm not going to push it. It's just something to keep me busy. So there's a little, I actually had a little hole when I was stitching it, so I just put that little paper in there. So I think that's kind of fun. And so here's some more. But what I wanted to get to is these other papers. I found this great mulberry paper that has lavender pressed into it. I did not make this paper. This is the first time that I have ever used paper that I did not make in one of my journals, except for white paper. You know, I do put some white cotton paper into my journals, but this is the first time that I've used any kind of decorative paper that I did not hand make myself. And I love it, and I love this paper. And I don't make mulberry paper. I used to in my studio years ago. We used to make paper, and I do have all the screens and everything to do that in my attic. I just haven't done it for a long time. That's of course an art on its own. So I'll have some fun with that paper. And then here's some other paper that I got, and again, it's cotton paper. This is all hand dyed. It's an ash color, and I love it. I love the way the edges are kind of burnt here, and it's distressed, and I love the ash color of it. I can't wait to work on it. I think a lot of my brighter colors are going to work on it, so I'm hoping. What I did was stitch these bookmarks. And if you can, I'm not sure you can tell from here, but these are Scarlett's paw prints. And so I had her in a little promo video that I did last Christmas, and I had these bookmarks, and so I stitched those in using the sewing machine. Here's another one. This one was kind of a messy one, but I'm going to just leave that in there anyways. And so that's an interactive page. I love interactive pages, and so as you can see here, here's another one. I can flip that out, draw on that, add things to it. I've already gotten some fodder out that's on my bookmaking table that when I come back from and start recovering, I can go ahead and glue some of that fodder that I have in there. And this is going to be just a interactive journal that I can draw in, write in, and put some memorabilia and some things that mean a lot to me in this journal, as I can kind of reflect over it while I'm sitting there in recovery. Look how pretty this is. That's a hydrangea leaf. And so I'm really enjoying this, and I had to spend some time planning how I wanted the pages to open and before I stitched them, because of course they're stitched on the sewing machine, and that's done before I hand stitch them into the journal. And I really love the way that these came out. So I'm excited to make some journals to put in the shop later on, maybe by Christmas. Here's some more of this purple. You can let me know if you like this idea. Again, it's something different for me, and I never wanted to include papers that I did not hand make, or at least had a hand in the designing of them. And I found these and fell in love with them, and I really just thought they were a phenomenal addition to the pages. So you can let me know what you think. This is the center of the book. I always put a happy page in the center of my books. And this is a plant stained paper piece, and I think it just looks very lovely with the lavender encrusted papers here. Love that. This paper almost feels, it's mulberry paper, and it's a thicker mulberry paper. Almost feels like a one of those reusable paper towels or washcloths that they have out right now, that's very tough, and I'll be able to draw and paint on it with watercolors, and it will still hold its own. So look how lovely. It's so pretty. I know I keep using that word. It's not really a word that I use a lot, but it just seems like it fits with this journal. There's another page in here. I'm just going to have so much fun drawing and painting on there. And then I get more into this ash paper again. Have that through here. I love the way that it's distressed, and some areas are, you know, lighter than others, and look how fun. I really love stitching with the machine, and I haven't done that for a long time. I used to do that all the time in all my books before, or a lot of my books before I did Disney, and then I just didn't have enough time. I was producing so quickly, and so now it's fun to create. This is a rose leaf that you see on that one. And here's some more. So this one is meant to be like a pocket. I don't really have anything here. I have my new elephant stamps, but just to show you that there's pockets in here, and that can hold some fodder. And yeah, I'm all excited about my elephant stamp. That might just have to go in there somewhere. Wouldn't that be fun? Let's go ahead and put one in there. I think we need to go ahead and have an elephant stamp put right. I think I'm going to put it right here. Yay. There we go. Okay. And so, and then here's another one, the white paper, tuck it in. More, you can see how much I love this paper, and I have that lavender paper in here. I even have a lavender spray. So the day that I stitched this, which was just a couple days ago, I sprayed it with some of my lavender spray, and of course it doesn't stay for very long, but it's something that I could mist. I'm not going to do it before I go into the hospital. I'll do it again when I come back. But yeah, and then I get back into my plant dyed papers that are going to give me all kinds of imagery to inspire my creating during that time. And I love imagery because it is something that really keeps your mind moving. And so you think about people who are aging, like I am, but have some mental challenges, perhaps Alzheimer's or some other kind of deterioration of their brain functions, their cognitive functions. They're told to do puzzles to keep their minds active. I think that me creating from imagery that I see, that is the way that my brain is being exercised, and I love it. I just think it's just so fun and amazing because I see things and I end up drawing them that I would never have drawn if I hadn't seen them. So there we go. And then I end with this beautiful daisy page with more. This is a little hydrangea leaf right in there. There's some dried, what is that called? I can't even, is it stasia? I can't remember what it is. But there's eucalyptus on here, and daisies and rose petals and rose leaves and hydrangeas and purple potato plants and all kinds of beautiful things. There's some eucalyptus in through here. And yeah, that's it. I have my name embossed in gold on the back of that, like I do on most all of my journals. And yeah, I have a faux suede tie that I started doing on a lot of my journals. I don't do it on all of my journals, but I do love it, and I especially love it on this big one. So I have that little loop there, and I like to come through and just kind of, I don't know, I do it differently every time, but I also like to wrap. I think that's pretty cool. And so there we go. So thanks for coming on a tour of Athena, my journal, my plant stained paper journal that I am going to be using for my recovery from brain surgery. And it's for recovery, although I've already started it, so I started it at pre-op. And it will go with me to the hospital, and in it, I am going to write all of the quotes and suggestions that you gave me for strength. I said I put a post out there saying that I was looking for a quote for that first page, that mermaid page, and I got so many great quotes that I can't wait to include all of them in my journal throughout these next 8 weeks of recovery. So thanks for all your love and support. I feel it. It's just radiating out. And I hope you can sense my feeling of calm and reassurance and faith in my doctors. I have the best doctor and the best team, and so and the best husband and family. So they've all been very supportive as well. So I appreciate them, and I appreciate all of you. And I will see you hopefully very soon with an update. Thanks so much. Love to all.